Starting items in Dota 2 are incredibly important because they set up your entire game. But how do you learn which items to buy in which situation? Step 1 in starting items is to think about which heroes you're likely to lane with, but also against. This is very important because you need to buy items with a purpose, and this purpose is likely to change every single game that you will play. Step 2 is learning the different categories of starting items that exist in Dota 2. The most important items to buy for the lane are regen items. This includes tangos, healing salve, mangoes, and sometimes also clarities. For example, if you are a crystal maiden, you need to spam your spells to help your carry farm. And without these items, you cannot do this. The second most important items are stats. You need stats to trade, to give yourself more damage, more HP, more armor, to help yourself fight back against the opponents, but also to secure last hits if you are a core. This includes items such as branches, circlets, gauntlets, slippers, and mantles. And the next two categories of items are information items, such as observer wards, smoke of the seed, and sentry wards. All of these items are absolutely crucial to help you in your lane, potentially help you get some first bloods, but also stop the enemy side lanes from abusing the hard camp or from you getting the easy camp in order to help your lane.
And lastly, you have kill threat items that allow you to get kills in the lane. Blood Grenade, which is needed on every support in the lane, as well as Orb of Frost and Orb of Blight. Orb of Frost and Orb of Blight are perfect on heroes such as PA, Slark, or Juggernaut, for when you're up against weak double melee offlanes like Tidehunter plus Bounty.
This is an example of how the pros itemize, and when you look at the core heroes in their laning stage, you can very easily see the concept of full damage in their starting inventories. You can see it from both 3-3 and Ace, who are the offlaners, but even in the mid lane, you have Quinn, and you're not buying 4 branches and a Fairy Fire for the funs of it. You're doing this exactly because it gives you the most amount of damage in your laning stage, and this is really to just set up your entire early game and the strength of starting items. Starting items are so beautiful because you decide what you do with your hero and your items. In this lane, 3-3 decides to start with a Sage's Mask because all he wants to do against the enemy Razor is to spam his axes. Simply because of this, it allows him to have a very early Ring of Basilius, which is great for not just him, but also his SD. And at the minute 3 to 4 mark, it allows you to have Arcane Boots, which instantly means that the Razor can no longer lane in this lane. Another thing to note is the difference between normal heroes and universal heroes. Universal heroes gain more damage for an item such as an Iron Branch. A normal hero will gain 1 damage, whereas a universal hero will gain 1.35 damage. Now, we also need to look out for our support players out there, because we need to differentiate the items we buy as a core hero and as a support hero. As a support, it is your job to secure your core in the lane, and you have to account for which hero you're laning with and against. And we all know that carry players aren't always the smartest. So when it comes to these laning stages, you need to understand, do you need more regen? Do you need to block the enemy hard camp? Do you maybe need more salves, more mangoes? What do you need to do? Try to understand your purpose. As a support also, you need to think about, where do you want to ward? Do you need to block the hard camp? Do you need to ward your gate because maybe they're gonna come and gank you? Do you need to ward your jungle so the enemy 4 doesn't go and gank your mid? These are all super important things that you need to take into account for your starting items as a support.
The last thing to take away is Dota always changes, and starting items will evolve with that. There used to be a patch where you'd buy no starting items as an offlaner. In the past week, with the new patch dropping, the starting items have changed again. One easy way to learn and improve is to watch pro tournaments like Dream League. Look what they're buying, copy their items, and try to work out why they've bought them so you can start thinking like a professional player too. Thanks for watching Radiant vs Dire by Kidia. See you in the next one.